Good evening, YouTube, and thank you for tuning into my channel. Fat Cat Collections coming at you again with another video. Now today we're going to be doing something a little different. It's kind of an idea that I had, and I'm not sure how it's going to pan out, but you know what? These whole videos and this whole channel is just really about expressing my passion, sharing it with the rest of the world. And so far it's been a lot of fun. I've met a lot of really neat people. I'm almost up to 2,000 subscribers, which is more than I ever thought would happen. Again, this is not something that's going to get me rich where I can retire doing this, or something I could sustain myself doing this. At the end of the day, I still go back to work. So, but I do really enjoy it. I really enjoy the conversations I have. And you know, any of you who have watched my videos before know I'm very passionate about anything that I'm into. Mainly watches. This is what the channel's really about. However, like my cars on there, the different things I kind of do around the house, and anyway, my newest passion is collecting perfumes, colognes. I just find it really amazing. I guess whatever happens in your brain when you smell certain scents that they trigger like memories. It's pretty amazing, really. But what I want to do, this video is mainly for my subscribers. So just if you're tuning into this and my subscribers or anybody who's used to watch my videos, if you're expecting a watch review, you're not going to get one today. But what we are going to do is talk about, there's a question I'm going to post, okay? I want to address a question I get quite a bit, okay? One, that question is Invicta a good watch, okay? We're going to talk about that a little bit, because on some of the other videos I have a couple of things, kind of I guess the title of the video addresses that, but it doesn't actually, like, I shouldn't say address that. The title of the video is one of them is called "Is Invicta a Good Watch?" And then of course in the video I don't really talk too much about that, so it wasn't really too planned. You know, these are not professional videos. These are just normal everyday conversations where you just kind of go with the flow. So just don't expect anything more from me. That's my style. That's how I do it. So again, we're going to talk about, is Invicta a good watch today? And the other thing, what we're going to be doing is these questions that pop up, I'm going to be addressing them on my Fridays. So we're going to call it Flashy Friday, okay? I know it's kind of cheesy, but what I'm going to do every single time, I got a closet full of shirts. Now, I never collected shirts, okay? And I have a ridiculous amount of clothes, okay? Just, you know, like I said, I don't really get rid of anything because I do feel like styles change, they come back. And, you know, I feel like I've worked very hard to you know, acquire things, so I find it, I guess, I don't know, I just can't really get rid of things. As long as you keep things organized, as I'm very organized, compulsive person, obviously, it's okay to do that, as long as you don't, you know, as long as I don't end up on some kind of show where they're like talking about like hoarders and, you know, anyway. So, back in like what would have been the, I don't know, maybe like the early 2000s, you know, club shirts were very popular, right? So I have a ton of these club shirts that I would not really wear out in public anymore, not because I care what anybody thinks. It's just my style has changed. But for Flashy Fridays, which is my Friday, okay, when my Friday starts, again, when this video is actually come live, it may not be your Friday or actual Friday. But that's what we're gonna call it, because it just makes sense. We're gonna throw on a flashy shirt, and every time every time I make one of these videos, I'm gonna put on some of these what you may find ridiculous shirts, and you know, just talk a little about these questions that people, you know, comment. I get tons of comments, tons of messages every day, and I want to address a couple of these things, and you know, just do something a little different. The setting is different naturally. This is where I normally review colognes, okay? And normally I review watches in my office. So we're just going to do the setting here. The lighting's better. And, alright, so moving forward, okay, is Invicta a good watch? Now, those of you who subscribe to my channel, okay, know that I have tons of Invictas. So obviously, you know, obviously I think Invicta is a great watch. But, you know, is it a good watch? Does it hold up, okay? Now, I've really only been collecting Invicta watches for probably about, say, going on 2 years, okay? Prior to that, I collected, like, I liked replica watches. Not because I pawn them off as, well, and my story goes really a lot further back, which maybe I'll talk about someday as how I got involved in watches and all that stuff. But as far as we'll just leave it at this. I really liked the Jacob watches when they came out, the replicas. Basically, the Jacob ones were some of the first big face watches that I discovered, and a lot of people. Oh, Flashy Fridays, we have a couple of beers too. Didn't know if you knew that. Grab yours. So, when I remember big face watches, the Jacob and Company watch was the first one that I remember that I ever discovered that changed the way that I, what I wanted to wear on my wrist forever, And I started collecting the Jacob, Company watches, the replicas, of course, because the real deals are pretty expensive. And you can get there was a time when I guess that trend really took off, and that was around I think, I don't know, 2002-ish to 5-ish, right around there. And, so I always collected watches that, if you ask me, is a Jacob replica a good watch? The ones that I picked up, I would have to say that, no, but you weren't really getting it because it's a good watch. You're getting it because of how it looked, okay? They were weighted down with lead on the inside. The plating would come off not overnight, but, if you work consistently, eventually it wore out. Of course, everything wears out eventually, but as far as the quality, when you pop the back, they were threaded back, threaded bezel, but when you pop the back on those things, it was like plastic insert, cheap movements, but you didn't buy it for that. You bought it because it looked good. I wore them half the time, they didn't even work, but that was a different style altogether, and shoot, I'll grab one for you right quick, so you can check out my other videos, but so alright, sorry. So there's just a real quick Jacob and Company replica right there. It's a different style. It's more of the hip hop thing. And I've had this watch for 10 years. So it's still, doesn't work right now because the battery's dead, and they hold 5 batteries. So I'm not going to put 5 batteries in it. Now it's just one for the collection, you know what I mean? But every now and then I'll wear it around the house just to, I don't know, reminisce. But when I go out in public, what do I rock? I have a lot of watches, well over 60. And what do I rock the most of? It's the Invictas. And the Invicta watches, I got a Venom on right now. The Venom, come on now. That was my first Invicta watch. So I think that any time that I address these questions about Invicta, whatever they may be, I'll do my research and get you the best answer. I'm always going to wear the one that started it for me, because the Invicta watches, our Invicta watch is a good watch. They're a great watch. You get so much for your money. These watches right here, I think I paid $150 for this watch. And this is if you pop the back, you look at it all a plastic insert. Shoot, I'll show you what $150 gets you in the replica game. Now there are replicas out there that are really good, okay, that you're going to pay a lot more for. But this just as an example, okay. I don't know if you can see that. That's all plastic, folks. That's all plastic. You have 5 time zones, 5 different time zones, 5 different cheapy movements. This is probably the kind of movements you would find, I don't know, and probably equivalent to maybe a $5 watch. But you didn't buy it for that. You're buying because of the way it looked. And then, if I get this back on, it's threaded, but this is not threaded that well. We'll leave that for after the video. You bought them because of what they looked like, and that 47 millimeters at the time, that was a huge watch back in that time. Now you still had divers. I'm sure Invicta was around. I don't really know, when they started making them really big. I don't know. Maybe back then there was really huge Invictas. I just don't know because I never really discovered them until many years later, and I'm so glad I did. So again, is Invicta a good watch? I can only give you my opinion of quality for 2 years of owning Invicta watches. And I'll tell you, I wear those watches I wore every now and then, Do they still work? Yeah, but I've had problems with hands falling off, stuff like that. Stones falling off. They're not great watches. But again, you got them for a different reason. The Invicta watches, 2 years, battery's still running strong. Again, you don't want to have it in chronograph mode. Okay, I'll address that in another video. Okay, but because that's going to drain your battery life. But, of all the Invicta watches I have, they've been fantastic. Now, I have had a few problems, and I've posted videos about the issues I've had, mainly from buying from sellers who sold these watches under the pretenses that they were minor scuffs. They were floor models. One being Invicta Outlet. You got to be careful of that one right there, because they will sell watches under false pretenses. And I got a few comments from people saying, you know, kind of like arguing with me. They're basically saying, oh, well, you talk about you bought a watch knowing it was a factory defect, you know, and then you expect it to be perfect. No, that's not, and I don't ever say that in my videos. So when people make these comments, I have to kind of question where their brain's at. What I state in my videos is that when you buy from Invicta Outlet, they sell all their watches. Not all, they sell new too. So you're safe buying new, I think. I don't know, and they're bought a new one. The reason I bought from Invicta Outlet in the past was because they had a model that was not in production at the time. You couldn't find it. And you didn't, with Invicta, sometimes you don't know if they're going to bring them back or not. You don't know. I mean, sometimes they make a watch, they have a production of it, you can't find it, sells out. You know, one being the Venom, the two-tone rose and yellow gold Venom, that's gone. That was when I got that, I sent it back. That was the last one I ever saw on the internet. Period. That one I wish I would have had in my collection, but you know, that was sold to me under false pretenses. I even emailed the guy on several occasions on different purchases. What's wrong with the watch? Minor scuffs. They were floor models. Some minor scuffing on the band. They show pictures on their eBay postings of like a small little scratch. That's minor wear and tear. You know, because if you wear a watch, you're going to rub it on a desk, and they're going to get a little scratch. It happens, you know. No matter how careful you are, no matter how meticulous you are, you're going to get little wear marks. That's normal. What is not normal is one of the ones I got from them, is the one I posted on the Sea Hunter. Stripped pusher, that's not wear and tear. That's not normal, that's not floor model wear and tear. A stripped pusher, okay? The other one is a dented crown. That's a dropped watch. That's not minor wear and tear, okay? So that's one. The other one, the Venom Watch, band, completely defective. The Venom Watch on that particular one had a different push system. They've changed it since then, but not push system. The pin system where the band connects to the actual case. That one was designed more for a quick release, so you change the band. It's kind of stupid because when you buy a watch like this, you're not looking to put on a rubber band. Like, you're buying a bracelet watch, you don't wear it for what it is, exactly how it looks. That one was designed where they gave you a tool where you push in on the side of the pin. It's made for quick release to put on a new band. And there was problems with it because the set pin underneath kept falling out. And that's probably why they changed it to this style. But that one I got, completely defective. The band was in two pieces when I got it. So it was something that wasn't even inspected. And every time I bought a watch from them, I asked, you know, exactly what's wrong with it. Oh, minor scuffs, minor wear, minor floor models is the exact phrase they use. Minor wear and tear from people just putting them on, checking them out, slight scuffs. So, again, that's the bad experience I've had with the Invicta. So, again, are Invicta watches, is Invicta a good watch? Yes, Invicta, in my opinion, is a great watch. You get tons for your money with Invicta watches. So, if you're looking at maybe getting one and you're on the fence, take it from me. I'll be honest with you, I'm not selling anything. Naturally, I do support the channel with, you know, Fat Cat Watches, with the links to eBay. But the only reason I created that site was because so many people came to me and said, man, I watched your video. I love the video. I love the watch. I went out and bought it. And this happens every single day. So, to help support the channel, to help to buy new watches, make new videos, better camera, all this stuff, you know, when you go through PHATKATWatches.com, and if you're going to buy it through eBay, or anything through eBay, and you go through my links, there is a kickback. It does help support my channel. So, whether you do it or don't, you know, if you enjoy the videos and you never buy an Invicta, enjoy the videos. It's great. I have fun just sharing, again, my passion with the world. But, you know, the Invicta watches, again, that question, I'm going to keep saying it, is Invicta a good watch? It's a great watch. And compared to some of the replica watches, like, okay, let's try a different angle at this, a different approach. If you're the kind of guy who likes a big watch, a big flashy watch, right? If you're an Invicta lover, you like that. I mean, they make the smaller Invictas, they have the Grand Divers, but they're still 47 millimeters. That's that size of the Jacob, okay? The one that kind of changed the game for me. Bigger is better. That's kind of what, well, not all the time. Anyway, but, you know, like, that's kind of the idea people have, like bigger TV, bigger rims, bigger this, bigger that, you know, bigger subwoofer, whatever. And that's kind of like, I don't know, I just like big flashy jewelry and watches. This is my personality. Not everybody's like that, but if you like Invicta watches, they make a huge. I mean, they make tons of watches, but a lot of them are oversized. You know, most of the watches they make, they're big watches, and that's kind of like what they do. You know, and so if you not some folks like when I've had replica watches, right? I'm not the type of person who will say, you know, like, oh yeah, that's the real deal. You know, like I'm just like, yeah, I just like the way it looks. You know, it's not the real deal. You know, I remember I was at the bar one day, I had one of my gold replica Breitlings on, and some guy came out and he's like, man, come on over. Man, is that a Breitling? I'm like, it's not the real deal. You know, this is not me. I don't front like that. But the Invicta ones, like, you don't. If you are the kind of person who does, like, you don't have to. Like, that's the real deal. And the thing is, like, a nice replica Breitling automatic is going to cost you close to $300. It's going to be a nice watch, but it's not going to be as nice in quality and get as many looks and compliments and conversations started as the Invicta watches. Trust me, I wore them for years. Nothing has got me compliments and conversations like Invicta watches. And you know what? Even the small 47mm ones get me the same compliments. They're just a fantastic watch. They make a fantastic product, and they give you a lot for your money. Now, is it a good watch? Can you get one that's defective? Yes, you can. Of the ones that I've gotten, and you see my videos, I have over 16, I believe 17. I'm not sure. Roughly, right? And a lot more coming, don't worry. I've only had a few issues. Again, I mentioned about the false pretense sales. Okay. The other issues I've had are, one of them came with, sorry, my coworker got one. It was defective movement. It would not tick, I guess. The time was correct, but the main large hand would not tick, I guess, if that's the right, it's not the right terminology for it, but the other one that I had was my Grand Ivor that I got. The back is actually on there either cross-threaded or improperly set. I'm not really sure, but it's water resistant to us. I don't know, like 300 feet. I took it in the shower, it fogged up. So I got it cheap enough where, you know, when I need to address it, when I get the tools and feel the need to, I'll try to take off the back. I might take it to a jeweler and see if he can. I think it's just cross-threaded. I don't know if they're actually hand. I don't think that they're actually hand assembled. I'm pretty sure that probably a machine puts them together. I would think that they almost have to for the price they're giving them to you for. But I'm pretty sure that's the issue. And it's definitely solvable. The other issue I had was the Invictas. I think that's the only issue I have with the Invictas. My coworker got one that was defective. I mentioned that. And for me, I think that's about it, really. I think that's the only issues I had with watches that were brand new from Invicta. So, again, is Invicta a good watch? Yes, it is. That answers that question. I've had them over 2 years, and the Invicta watches, like I stated, like the other ones I would wear, you know, I'm going out, going to a club, going on a date, whatever. You know, going on a drive, who knows, you know. But the Invicta watches I wear every day, and I wear them to work, okay? And you know, I don't have a very super physical job. Like I don't do construction or anything like that. But you know, I wear them. They get used. I mean, and you know, I haven't had any problems with quality of the Invicta watches. They are well made. They are fantastic. So when I don't get a lot of comments, but every now and then people want to compare them to like Rolex, and most of those people don't even own a Rolex. You know, and I get more comments by people who own Rolex say I have an Invicta also, fantastic watch. So that should really answer the question: is Invicta a good watch? And let me tell you, of the 50,000 people that view my videos every single week, that's a lot of people. And I'll be straight up honest with you. I do get some comments of haters. I know people don't like me to mention that word. Sometimes I ramble on about it. But you know what? It just is the truth. When I get some comments by people who are just miserable people who just make comments, you know, whether they're trying to insult me or they insult the watch or whatever, you know, my Jaguar, my Accord, whatever, my Solara, my bike, it doesn't really matter. Those people just want to stir up problems. I don't respond at all. It's just a waste of my time. And those people probably never even owned an Invicta watch. And like I said, of the 16 I have for over 2 years, I've had no issues other than with that one watch. And that was like a $100 watch. So it was on the lower end of the Invicta price point. So I hope that I answered that question of is Invicta a good watch? Yes, it is. It is a fantastic watch. I can't think of any watch out there that I've ever discovered, that I've ever purchased, that I've ever owned, that gives you more watch for your money than the Invicta watches. If you want to be a guy who wears a generic looking watch that maybe costs you $400 or $500, there's lots of those out there. There's tons of watches in the 38 millimeter range, 30 to 30 millimeter, 38 millimeter range, normal watch size, that will get you no compliments, no looks, no conversations, and really will just be, it'll be something that you wear on your wrist that you know you spent $600 for or whatever, or $5,000. Really, the only watch that's really gonna, somebody might say, is a Rolex. You know, Rolex been around forever, but you're gonna pay a shit ton for them. So if you're the kind of person who wants to roll a Rolex, I mean, great, more power to you. You know, I mean, let me tell you, I've had a few fake Rolexes, and very rarely do I wear them, just because even though it's a Rolex, nobody ever makes a comment about it. And I like conversation. I like talking to people about this passion of mine. You know, I enjoy it. I like when people are like, damn, that's a beautiful watch. And I get to, hey, you know, and then I see somebody else will watch. What kind is that? You know, it's a lot of fun to kind of get to know different brands. And of all the brands I've discovered, and there's a lot, man, there's thousands and thousands of watches out there. And I mean, we start looking at like $1 million watches. Yeah, the movements are just, I mean, they're breathtaking. I mean, they're works of art. But that's not, I'm not that kind of guy. I'm the average guy working stiff, you know. So, you know, Invicta, I just think, gives you so much for your money. I mean, you get great quality. Not to say you can't get a bad one. So let's not be under any like kind of false like fantasy land cloud in the sky here, because you can buy a TV, you can buy a VCR, DVD, car, whatever. Everything has potential for failure. That's just the way it is. And everything has the potential to get one that's bad. But the nice thing about, you know, the Invictas, most of the time when you buy them, you're going to know that pretty quick. And if you buy from reputable places off eBay, and really most of the sellers on eBay, the exception of some of the ones I mentioned, and they probably have thousands of other great, you know, people have had great experience, or they wouldn't be on eBay, you know. I mean, this is just my experiences with some of those sellers. And you know what? You as a business, you got to take care of your customer. And unfortunately, those businesses that I've mentioned in my other videos do not take care of their customers, at least in a way where they show that they care. And again, like I said, you want to buy Invicta, you want to go through eBay, go to Fat Cat Watches, check out my links. Those are the ones I recommend. I think they're great. I've had good luck with them. And there's lots of places to buy them, but that's where I like to buy my watches. eBay used to be something that started off as people selling whatever they had around the house. Now it's like Amazon, folks. So don't be scared of eBay. eBay is great. Most of these sellers that I buy from have instant returns. You have a problem, you click return it. The label's printed. You send it back. It's tracked. It's monitored by eBay. You get your money back. It's pretty much no-brainer. So no fear there. So I hope I answered that question. If you have any more questions, I'm taking more. Drop a comment. Drop me a message. I check that all day long, and I'm more than happy to address any question. I mean, I'm gonna do more videos on, like I said, on my Flashy Fridays, just answering these questions. Again, they're not gonna be reviews. They're not gonna be talking about, you know, different models, and more coming. I'm sorry I haven't posted much in a while. I've been trying to do the cologne reviews. I've been just buying colognes non-stop. So more watches are coming. Just stay tuned. Keep subscribing. Keep checking the channel. And I'm more than willing to help you on any questions you have. Keep them coming, and we will address them one by one. So thank you very much, folks. I appreciate you watching. Remember to check out PHATKATWatches.com. Remember to subscribe to the channel. And as always, have a wonderful night.